right, so popping the old pups back in the vintage pups, original pups, or pup anyway, the other one's an aftermarket one, but you always want to make sure you line up the ring just right because of the the angle, right? Because as you can see, there's a bit of a line, a bit of a grade, if you will, a bit of a grade, and you don't want to tool on top of above the guitar so you don't drop anything on it. Like, yeah, so moving a little fast here. Shit takes time, and I don't want to bore you with taking time. Wasting time. Wasting time. So, just like so, you don't want to launch the spring across the room, which is easy to do when you're doing this, because as you're doing that, if the screw doesn't pop into the hole there, you can launch it actually works. The first time, how about that? You can launch as you're pushing like so, it could slip and the spring could just go across the room, just like that. Or however it sounds when it launches across the room, or whatever you're gonna make it sound like. Or anyway, so almost there. We'll just start with flush, right? So we pop this down in like so. Let's bring it back into view. Yeah, you can see it feed right through like there. We don't really need it to go any further into that hole just yet. We can always feed it from the other side. We'll pop these back in and back on, and then we'll come back for the other one. Let me pause. Yeah, see, this is this one isn't as extreme as the front, so as you can see, the angle points to the right, so we want to go to the left because the angle drops down toward the left. So let's just bring this up a little, just a tad. Now this is not a stock 78 Greco pup. This is a Seymour Duncan Sir Edward Van Halen 78 bridge pup, which sounds really good. This is a 4-conductor wiring, and which unlike the stock standard early or late 50s, 60s, and early 70s wiring, most of the 70s, I guess, is a 2-conductor wiring, just a hot and ground, and that's pretty much it. Now before we pop it in completely, let's just oh wait, no, I see I got that going the wrong way. Right, yep, thank you. I heard you. No, Craig, you gotta go in the wrong way. So let's flip it over and make sure we can see. No, we can't. Can we? Yes, we can. There it is. It's right here. Ta-da! And then there's our front pup there. See, that's the 2-conductor, right? One lead. There's our hot lead. I'm going to clean this up and we'll get on the video as well. And then this is our ground. That's vintage wiring, right? This is not vintage wiring. So, anyhow, okay. So now we can tighten this up. And more to come. Hang tight. Go make some popcorn. Okay. Did you get some butter on that? On that popcorn? I like just a little fresh, non-salted butter. If I want my butter to be salted, I'll salt it myself, and I'll salt it with good salt. Actually, are these tight? There we go. Like a really good real salt, or how about that Himalayan pink salt? Do we have any salts aficionados here in our listening audience? If we even have a listening audience. Okay, so those are in. Why, Craig, are you popping the original pups back in? Because, well, this guitar is for sale, and it'll sell for more with the original components, whereas these are not cheap. These are bad freaking ass pickups. These are made by a friend of mine, Leo Scala, a world-renowned Gibson luthier. He's like the tip top of the luthiers that Gibson has. This is the Bel Air, 58 Bel Air and the 57 Hot A2. These are badass. I popped them in to this machine to see how they would sound under the hood, and man, oh man, bada bing, just freaking phenomenal. Just freaking phenomenal. These sound great too, but like I said, you know, the guitar's for sale, and you can't have, you can't have aftermarket stuff in a vintage guitar and expect to, get top dollar for it. So, anywho, all right. So I'm going to wire these up, wire up the other end of the caps, short for capacitors, and we'll be right back so we can inspect, show you the finished product. But actually, I said that I was going to clean up this lead here. So how do we do that? Rather than spill into the cavity, I like to use a piece of, let's see here, maybe we can zoom in a bit. There we go. I like the sound the camera makes when I do that. Oh, wait, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I don't like these. I like these. All right, just do a little trim off the split ends there. Great band. Split ends. What was there? Was that Black Coffee in Bed? No, that was Squeeze. What hit did, what was one of the hits that Split Ends had? Boy meets girl. See, that looks a bit better. Let's, was that Split Ends? No, that was the Jam? No, that wasn't the Jam. Ah, man. I loved the new wave movement. Growing up in Southern California, being from Venice, K-Rock. Come on, what was the Split Ends hit? Okay, see, this is why I do this, so that I can just remove it without spilling into the control cavity, right? Okay, so we got rid of that crap and crud, and now I'm going to wire these in. I'll be right back. All right, let's zoom out. And I'm going to bring the stand. I'm using a mic stand. I've been doing that for every single freaking video. I can't seem to invest in a proper tripod because I don't make a lot of money. There's no money in it. There's just no money. Let's see, I gotta feed that wire underneath. And did we get it? Yes, we did. Now we gotta pull it out like so. Okay. Let's get a little. Just ain't no money in it. No, I'm not going to spend any money out of pocket until I actually make a little cash. Oh man. So, which means to say, send money. Send money. Let's get that to fit over there. What did I see today? A relationship should be 50-50. And I agree, I do. A relationship should be 50-50, right? I do my part, and the girl does her part, right? She buys me a new guitar, and I play music and I sing songs to her. How about that? Does that sound like a deal? That sounds like a deal to me. All right, that's in. Yeah, all right. Did that look good on camera? I don't know, I can't see, I can't tell. So, all right, so now let's get this wet. Let's get this wet. You gotta breathe and stay calm. Here's what you got. Let's see, first of all, where's this gonna rest? It's gonna rest like so we can get that in there. You gotta breathe and stay calm so you don't shake. You can pretend you're like a neurosurgeon, and the idea is to keep that more or less warm, if not hot. Remember, don't shake. What's that old game, Operation Don't Touch the Sides? There we go. For those that like to talk to themselves while they're doing stuff like this, just get a camera and start filming it, because that kind of means that you might be pretty good. I'm not complimenting myself. For all I know, I'm sucking balls here. There we go. But that's good. Look at that. We got direct connection. So now we want to get the cap going here. So let's line that puppy up. And we're going to go in the other way with it, like so. Now, don't necessarily need pliers, but we're going to route that lead there so it's not on the way anymore. Okay, so, yeehaw. Pop that in like so. A little bit of like so. Uh-oh. Wire's starting to fray. No, we want to trim that. Where are my trimmers? Got a bucket full of these things. They're all over. These are essential. Yeah, and then got these for strings. Where did I just put it? Oh, I know what I did because I'm talking. I'm talking. Yes, indeed, and I'm walking. All right. Chill, Craig, chill. All right, I'm going to clean this up and come right back. Need I remind you that you hear the sound of traffic in the background? That's because I have all the windows open. So need I remind you that you need to do this in a well-vented area. You don't want to inhale this shit. And I still, encourage you to do that, because even with lead-free solder, which is what I use, you really don't want to breathe this stuff. Okay? You really don't. So, don't say I didn't tell you. Yeah, don't say I didn't tell you. Okay, so I need to cap these off, the red and white. Let me get some shrink wrap. Be right back. Okay, well, I only have the larger black, so I'm going to use green. Green's a nice healthy color, isn't it? All right, so let's do a little trim there. Pop that in like so. And then up just a bit. And oh no, I'm melting. There we go. And give it a little bit of a squeeze. Now where does that end? Squeeze. I'm telling you, that was a good band. Oh wait, no, that was Split Ends. Well, Squeeze was too. Squeeze was actually, they're still around. They just had a tour not too long ago. Where were they? Australia, I think it was. Yeah, okay, so we want to even that up nip that off. And so green and the ground are going to go together. So here we go. Enter the strippers. These are essential. Line that up right in there, just like so. Give it a little bit of an angled. You see that? Just like so. Nope. This is a thin wire, so it's going to be kind of tedious or difficult to strip. So you angle the strippers. There we go. Get rid of that schmutz. There's more Yiddish for you. So you learned what did we schmutz. And what was the other one? Putz? No. Kvetch? Kvetch. That's a good one. Kvetch. What's kvetching? It's kind of like bitching and complaining, but not so necessarily so. So you always want to keep your tip clean. It's like it's like life. You always want to keep a clean tip. There we go. All right, so that's going to ground out, and we're gonna hit posi. Oh, there's a lot of solder, extra solder on here. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. What I often do is I'll turn the guitar upside down, because solder is heavy. There's actually weight to it. That way the solder will drip down, in which case it was dripping down toward the bottom side of the control cavity. But you see, even, that's a big piece of solder. God, that's heavy. You see, it makes my hand drop to the floor. So you want to take out as much of this as possible, because that'll really weigh your guitar down, especially when you're playing live. Is that enough light? I know we got the sun coming in, but yeah, I might be able to get by without that. Save the battery. Okay, so what are we gonna do first? Oh, actually, I can use that, because then when my hand's in there, yeah, see, when my hand is in there, there's a piece of the old. Let's see, angle that upward like so, and then move that over like so. Bring this over like so, and drive it through the leg, and voila. And just hold it there until it cools, and cool. This is the Moderna. This is the one of three ways to wire a guitar: is the 50s, the 60s, and the modern. I guess 70s would be included in modern. This is modern. So do I have a pointer? Excuse me. Belch. Oh my Lord. Let's use this is off of the maple tree. This is a maple twig. Okay, so that leg on the tone pot, these legs here on the far right hand side are grounded out to the pot. If it was a 50s wiring, then the middle leg would be grounded out like so, and the capacitor would be going to the far right leg, but it's not the case. Sorry. So it's not even on. There we go. Let's do that again. Yeah, can we see? Yeah. All right, so that leg, as you can see, is this is a piece of maple. Yeah. God, I should make I want to make toothpicks out of these. Can you imagine? Same toothpick for the rest of your life. And then the tone capacitor is gonna be on that leg there, and you reverse them if you want to do the 50s, maybe the 60s. I'm not quite sure. My brain is going. Jeez, I just turned 59, so my lord, what am I doing here? And the same thing with these, or with this leg here. This would be the tone cap would be wired here, and that leg would be grounded to the pot. So we just have one pup left. Let me go ahead and pop this puppy in. We are going to leave that. Maybe I should put ooh, this could be cool. This could be really cool, actually. Let me we'll put a clear. Let's see, so we want to do that right about there. We'll put a clear shrink wrap over like so that it doesn't ground up. Ooh, and there's no wind, so let's, yeah, there we go. Come on. You don't want to burn it per se. You don't want to get it into the flame. Yeah, there we go. As I burn it. You don't want to burn it. You don't want to cook it. Because that's going to ground out to the tone cap. And then once it's wired up, we can shove the wiring back up into the body. This is a chambered body. Like so. Like so, like so. Let's tin up. Chambered body. Soldering is cool. Soldering is fun. Soldering is healthy. Oh, the neighbors are home. How do I know? Because they bark. I know it sounds like dogs, but those are the neighbors. Yeah, they bark. I don't really talk to them because they bark. That's all they do. I don't know. There, a little bit there. I don't know how they communicate if that's all they do is bark. So we can do this with the other hand. Let's bring the light over here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're heating up the solder that's on the pot so that we get a really good connection, a really good ground connection. There we go, and then we just pop that one in like so. Oh, look at that, that's nice and clean. Well, I'll let you decide. We'll let you decide. It's cleaner than it was when I got the thing. Jeez, you should have seen it. You know, it's like how some people wipe their asses. Do they even wipe? That ever happened to you? You know, you're eating with a bunch of friends at, you know, at a restaurant, and somebody goes up to go to the bathroom, and, you know, they come back and they just start smelling like it. Oh, man. Oh, God. Sorry, I know that's a thought. All right, that's treble and bass side. Yep, like so. Yeah. What's gotten into you, Craig? Talking shit. Yeah, no pun intended. Talking shit. Best strings in the world. Diodario. Wait, where's there? Yeah, Diodario. Best strings in the world. These are the EXL 110 BT for balanced tension. you know, for those that like stress out a lot, get a lot of tension. You know, some people hold stress and tension in their shoulders. Some people hold it in their lower back. Some people hold it in their legs, their joints. So these are balanced tension. So you can balance out that stress, that tension. Wait, we're talking about guitar strings. Let's see here. Balanced tension. It's so, you know, I mean, most sets are pretty balanced, but I like a slightly heavier B string than most. So I'll put like my wound G string in the B position. I'm just kidding. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah. And yeah, so standard 10 gauge set is high to low 10, 13, 17, 26, 36, 46, and oh geez, do I know it offhand? A balanced tension set. Excuse me, gosh, what's going on? I either need to eat or I ate too much, but I haven't eaten. So let's see, it doesn't say. Okay, balanced tension is going to be 10, 13 and a half, 17, 24, 34, 44. Or is it 26 or 25? Do a little research. Let me know. I can't remember, like I said. I just turned 59. My memory. Golly gee. Golly gee whiz. Don't get old. Don't get any older anyway. If anything, you know, when you have a birthday, just stop after the birthday. Oh, so here's what we want to do with the soldering iron. We want to make sure that we have a little bit on the tip before we shut her down to help prolong the life of the tip. Okay? All right. We're shutting her down. Let's take you over to the station here. Moving the mic stand. Okay, so there's the station. All right, so there's your spongeroo. Shut her down. Shut her down. Right? Okay, so let's take an oath. No one's going to get any older here, right? We're just going to continue to stay young, forever young. Okay, don't. All right, so I'm going to string this up and come back so we can hear what the thing is, or hear what it sounds like, unless you want to stick around and hear me babble, which I don't think you do, and I understand if you wouldn't. There's already a video on restringing and locking the strings. So, without further ado, one more thing I will mention. Yeah, that's a good one. And that is, oh, Sure it's lining up on the bridge. There we go, on the saddle. We'll adjust the height and all that jazz. I think the cover is on. Okay, so I want to make sure that we push down right there so that there's no, so that there's a word for it, so that the string drops, or that there's, so that there's no round arc, so that there's an actual angle there. And to relieve the string of any unnecessary play, because that won't help with keeping the thing in tune. Yeah. So, okay, be right back. All right, I decided to keep rolling here. Getting rid of the direct sun because A, it's getting hot in here, and two, the sunlight is getting right into the camera here. So, right. So, this guitar is really cool. It is a, as I said before, it's a '78 lawsuit model Greco Les Paul, custom. And these things are fantastic. They were so fantastic that at some point in the late 70s, early 80s, Gibson sued both Greco and, did I go the wrong way? I went the wrong way. Ibanez. Gibson sued both Greco and Ibanez because why? Well, I'll tell you why if you just hold on. How you doing on that popcorn? Because the guitars were coming out so good, so clean, so nice. Better than anything that was coming out of the States anyway. I really made mincemeat of that one, didn't I? That Gibson had to shut them down. Now, in the early 80s, Fender started the Squier series, the Squier Strat series in Japan, where Fender licensed a Japanese company, Fender Japan, to start the Squier Stratocaster. And those were coming out so good that, of course, they're not going to sue their own company, but they did shut them down. I guess they said, hey, look, you're going to have to make guitars that are not as good as what we're making. Yeah, go figure. Anyhow, both Greco, I don't know about Ibanez, but I know Greco was allowed to continue making the Les Paul knockoffs as long as they had some sort of variation, in their design. So rather than make some sort of variation in the body or the headstock or both, they ended up changing the logo like this here. So can you even see that? How are we looking? Yeah, like that, the logo there. Yeah. And so, lo and behold, they just aren't the same. I mean, they are as far as playability and so on, but they're just not the same as the original lawsuit models. And man, I'll tell you. Yeah, so this guitar is for sale. If you or anybody you know is looking for a really cool, affordable Les Paul, and I do mean affordable. I'll put the price in the well, I guess I can tell you. I'm looking to get what I paid for it. So, which is actually kind of ridiculous. I should be trying to make a profit considering I need money. As much as I wish, I'm not playing as much as I should, or, well, performing, touring. I am available for tours, sessions, so on. Shameless plug, so on and so forth. Yeah, so on and so forth. Great guitar. We'll hear it here in a second. We're almost there. Almost there. Great guitar. Who has relative pitch? I know I have relative pitch. I don't have perfect pitch. Who has perfect pitch? I've always been kind of envious of those that have perfect pitch, but you can't. I'm always having to tell, not always, because I don't always envy. I tell myself, when I notice that when I realize that I'm envying somebody, I often tell myself, or I immediately remind myself that I should not let envy cloud my sense of contentment. That's a good one. I saw that in a fortune cookie. Do not let envy cloud your semblance of contentment. That's a pretty good one. I think I have it here in the fridge. No, I got rid of all of them. I thought I had to move. Oh, I don't want to talk about moving. I hope that nobody has to move from wherever they're at unless they want to. Santa Fe is weird, man. Santa Fe has always been, really, really hard on renters. I shouldn't say always. At one point in time, it became difficult. There used to be a paradise for people that just wanted to, slip in within the cracks and just kind of like disappear. Taos as well. Taos. I was working in a grocery store and we had all types of people, colors and creeds and so on. This one woman comes in and she says, "Hi, I'm from Taos. Can I get the discount?" Really? Anyway, so I said, "No. Relative." Or perfect. Does that sound like an E? It's too high. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that looks good. let's see if that's. Where's the tuner? Give me a tuner. My kingdom for a tuner. Here we go. Kingdom for a tuner. Come on. Sounded like an E. Ah, it was a little flat. There we go. Just about a whole step, it's like in between a whole half step. But you guys knew that. I tuned down with my band. I had the guys tune down half step. And the bass player, and both the bass player and the keyboard player sing like I do. And the reason why, two reasons why. I use 10s and they're kind of slinkier, a little more on the slinkier side when we're tuned down, but mainly because of the voice. Yeah. Mainly because of the voice. And it's cool. I like it a lot. Boom. Okay. Oops. Front pickup. I'll adjust the height in a bit, but it's actually pretty cool. Nice and airy. Middle. And there's the rear. Kind of got that sound. Everybody flying across the sky, Superman's out of town. Come on, honey, baby, change your tune, 'cause it's a long way down. Hard kid looking for a free ride, going down Lover's Lane. It's a bird's plane, it's a suicide. And if you're in a shame, get your love out of the get your love out of me. Get your love out to have. Get your love guaranteed. What's next to the moon?